Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between our visitors and the Dallas Cowboys. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
Here we go, here we go. 8, read.
Coming this way, here we go, here we go, here we go.
Here go.
On first down, Callaway nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A bad start there, a big loss on their first play from scrimmage. It's second down. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
There he goes, Amari Cooper. Touchdown, Cowboys. Amari Cooper, 82 yards. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that's the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Set, ready? 18, Gator. Greystone, travel.
Now a first carry for Melvin Gordon. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14 yards. They go back to Gordon here on first down. And takes this one across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 4.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down.
Yeah, good game catching the ball in the backfield a week ago, and they're going to try and involve him in that way in this game as well. But you can tell scouting is taking over. They're making it a little bit more difficult.
Defensively, they told us, hey, we've got to take him out of the passing game, limit it to just short runs, because he can really impact this offense. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Right there, 54, right there, 54 mile. Watch the split.
They'll try and throw for it here. And he's got a first down and then some at midfield. And brought down across the 50 to the 49-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there and a Charger first down.
Slam.
They'll look to throw. Allen's got it complete. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run for the first time with Austin Eckler. Not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
First down, Los Angeles.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Pick me up. Here we go. Check 4. Check 4. Bang, 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 bang.
Gordon. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
The tackle there by Richard Sherman.
2-18, jump.
Running right, it's a handoff to Gordon. And that play goes nowhere. He's met behind the line, and a penalty flag may add insult to injury. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold him.
They'll look to throw here. He'll get this to Eckler. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Mike 54. Mike 54. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there.
Hey, Sam off.
Let's go right here now. Check.
Good.
Motion.
Now back to throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And he will be brought down, but he's got the interception on a final play of this first quarter. 1 quarter down, 8-0 the score. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And certainly they'll be hoping to hit pay dirt like they did on the last drive. Got the football back, so a chance to go up 2 scores.
And they haven't been tentative at all in this ball game because sometimes you start a game with your script to try and get information out of the opposing defense. How will they play you in certain situations? Sometimes you script to attack, and that's what I'm seeing so far.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Elliott looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Brings up 3rd down and 9.
An extra defensive back on the field for the Chargers now on 3rd down. From the gun, Callaway. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. They're going to try and throw. And this is incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter? I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
2nd and 9 now. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
So on 4th down, on comes the Charger kicker, Michael Badgley. This from 54 yards away. Badgley's kick is good. And they get on the board, trailing now 8-3. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
Factored in.
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Let's go, team. It's going to be a long day.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson.
Let's go. Come on.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Hey, exit. Target. Let's go.
Here's 2nd and 8. And his throw here's incomplete. Nasir Adderley making like his Hall of Fame cousin Herb as he gets a hand in to knock it away.
The goal of anyone running a curl route is to make sure you try and get defenders on your back and shield them away from the football. But sometimes even when you run a good route, the defense finds a way to knock it away.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Operating from the gun, Callaway, and that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
So here we go. The offense is going to stay out there. They're going for it on 4th and 8. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa and the Chargers will get the football back in excellent field position.
Down. 90 Wolf.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Sets up the screen to Gordon. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on first down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
He's got Allen. And he will not get what he needed as he stops short of the first down at around the 22. They do get 9, but it leads to fourth down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Coming up in a couple of minutes, we'll get you to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. The coach will have stats and scores from earlier today in the NFL. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time we saw them go for it in kind of an unusual situation. It's not like it's a fourth quarter do or die. They went for it, didn't get it. We'll see how that affects them this go around.
Partner, I'm wondering if we're starting to see the effects of analytics coming into play here, where people are studying the number of possessions, how many times you should go for it, what position it leaves your team in. Maybe we're starting to see a little bit of that creeping into the NFL game.
Yeah, I think we've seen it in other sports, maybe into the NFL now as well. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. Phillip Dorsett, the intended receiver. And now it's third down.
You ready? Move!
Here we go, D. All day. Defense, all day.
Ready?
From the gun, Callaway. He's got the hook up with Conley. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a fourth down. On fourth down, Callaway. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Melvin Ingram dropping the hammer off the edge. So, Charles, why in the world do you take that risk there?
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense on the surface, but I've been around enough of these coaches and enough of these meetings along the way. Sometimes they're so confident in a play call that they don't care about the situation. They think that play, at that time, they're going to run it and pick up whatever they need. So maybe that's what influenced him there. I'm guessing because I have no other explanation.
Yeah, that's tough. Own side of the field, that chunk of yardage to pick up. Head scratcher. He'll look to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And the Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. A third field goal of the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on third down. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Looking for Allen, he's got him on the slant. And they'll get to him short of the first down at about the 16. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the third time tonight from the right hash. This from 33. Badgley able to punch this one through. And they're going to take the lead here as it's now 9-8. Well, the drive ends in just 3, but they'll take it. Looks like they'll head to the locker room, barring something unfortunate, in front on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they may not be jumping up and down and celebrating because they have the lead, but still, any little momentum in a game like this is important to a team, and they'll feel real good about going in and regrouping, knowing that they are out in front.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. And some room to maneuver. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a 1-point game. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Charger drive about to get going. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had an ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
2nd and 11. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
Check right 54. Right alpha.
They'll drop the throw. That's complete. It's Gordon. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. Looking to throw. And an alley to run. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
Not sure I agreed with the decision to go for it, but I definitely agreed with his decision to run it. He picked up that big first down. I think he let his head coach off the hook.
That's what I was just going to say. If there's anybody more happy than the quarterback picking it up, it's the coach that saw him pick it up. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Charger first.
Hey.
54.
This is Gordon. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. On 2nd down, Eckler. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. First down, and they stick with Eckler. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now a 10th carry for Melvin Gordon. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. So 3rd and inches, and this will be the 9th play of the drive. This is Gordon as they go to him again. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
Big series right here. We got to step it up.
They'll set up a throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best. He keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with a bit.
And he will get in across the chalk for a Chargers touchdown. Austin Eckler, his 2nd touchdown on the season. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
49.
Looking to throw. Callaway. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Break.
Now Gordon on first down. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That one good for 13 and a Charger first. Here's Gordon. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
60 more.
Got to do better. Come on, QB, come on. Check
2nd and 13. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Ready, break.
54's Mike. Check.
Hey, Charlie.
Check 26.
Back to throw here. And the throw there going to be incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. eventually able to knock this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. A big one there. That gives them a little cushion and makes it a two-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 18. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
The Charger drive about to get going. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
They'll start on the ground. This is Gordon on first down. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. First down, Los Angeles there with a pickup of 14. Yards.
A gain of 14. First down, Chargers.
Okay, ready?
From the 32 now. Here's first and 10.
Ready?
And now whistles and a flag. And I think we got a jump here. So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So a first and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Allen, the intended receiver, but it'll be second down.
5 yards to go.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. The busy night continues for Gordon as he gets it here. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 7 yards there and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Here we go. 70, Indy, Bravo. Big grip, big grip.
On play action, they'll throw. Hunter Henry brings it in. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. It's a big one there for the Chargers. 42 yards.
2 yards on the play. And the Chargers first down.
Ready, ready.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on first and 10. He'll drop to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10.
Check, 59.
Second and 10. And this is caught. He's got it. Touchdown, L.A. Josh Malone, his 4th touchdown on the year. The Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Following the touchdown, Badgley out there to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hey, Delta.
Now this time he'll look to throw. Philip Dorsett hauls it in. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Back to throw. Callaway. And that is incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
They're already slim. Hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Ready?
On 4th down, Callaway. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first. This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Callaway. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. Give them 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. He's going to look end zone, and it'll be intercepted. Trevor Williams with a pick. And to the 12, that's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. Intended that time for Cooper.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Charger drive about to get going. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So it's Charger football as we welcome you back from the 2-minute warning. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. And an alley to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Switch.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He completes it to Henry. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. A good pickup there, 21 yards. They'll look to throw.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Defense wins championships, man.
Roll out.
Now back to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock.
He's coming. Double up.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd and 7.
Ready?
57 to Mike.
They run again with Carson. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. So this crowd will not go home happy. It's a victory for our visitors. And, you know, it wasn't a shutout. They did give up the points in the first quarter, but 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarter, they held them scoreless.
Brandon, if you throw a shutout for quarters 2, 3, and 4, you can win a lot of games in this league. And this felt a lot like, almost like if you say baseball, and the pitcher goes through the lineup the first time and the hitters get to see him, and then they come out after that and the bats start blazing, right? I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for our visitors, the win here means it'll be a 7-1 first half of the season. And they'll get another road date next week. Meanwhile, for Dallas, they fall 2 games under 500 now at 3-5. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.